You know how rich people always say, money lets you trust no one? That was Robert Kingston. Billionaire. Hotels, jets, charities with his name on the wall. But inside his own house, he didn't trust a soul. Not after his wife, Emma, died giving birth to their son, Michael. The baby was everything he had left, but Michael cried for hours, wouldn't sleep, and doctors said his immune system was fragile. Robert hired the best nannies money could buy. They were polished, expensive, and gone in a week. Some said the baby was too demanding. Some whispered the father was. So when an agency sent a simple girl from the poor part of town, Evelyn, the whole mansion looked at her like she didn't belong. "Sir, she's not like the others," Sophia, the head housekeeper, said, her pearls shining. "She doesn't even own a car." "That's fine," Robert said coldly. "If she can keep Michael calm, she can stay." But the moment Evelyn touched the baby, he stopped crying. Just stopped. No one in the mansion liked that. Rich eyes don't like seeing a poor girl succeed where they failed. Sophia rolled her eyes. The chef whispered. Even the driver, John, said, "Boss, you sure about putting a stranger that close?" Robert wasn't sure. Evelyn was too gentle, too natural, too fast to love a child that wasn't hers. So he did what controlling, lonely billionaires do. He installed cameras. Tiny, hidden ones, in the nursery, the hallway, even in the little guest room they gave Evelyn. He told security, "I want every second recorded. If she yells, I want to see it. If she hits him, I want to see it. If she steals, I want to see it." Because in Robert's world, people didn't do kind things unless they wanted something. That night, rain hammered the Kingston estate. Wind howled past the tall windows. Michael's cries echoed through the monitor. Staff pretended not to hear. Sophia muted her phone. Robert, in his office full of glass and city lights, opened the live feed on his laptop and turned the volume up. 2:14 a.m. He watched Evelyn walk into the nursery, hair messy, feet bare, eyes sleepy, but soft, so soft. "Hey, Angel," she whispered. "I'm here." And what she did next, at first, looked so wrong, so different from what the expensive nannies did, that Robert leaned closer to the screen, his jaw tight. His finger froze above the intercom. "What is she doing with my son?" In that moment, Robert wasn't a billionaire. He was a terrified father watching a stranger touch his last piece of family. Evelyn had grown up in a one-room apartment with peeling paint and a brother, John, who shared his last slice of bread with her. She knew what cold felt like. She knew what an empty bottle of baby formula looked like. That's why, inside the Kingston mansion, everything felt too much. Marble floors, huge chandeliers, a nursery bigger than her whole house. But love doesn't care about square footage. From the moment she held baby Michael, she felt his little chest struggling to settle. He was warm, but the room was cold. The expensive crib was beautiful, but lifeless. The night nurse chart said, "Let him cry it out." Evelyn didn't believe in that. Not for a baby who lost his mother before he could smell her skin. So she did what poor women do, she used what she had. Her voice, her arms, her heart. But the rich staff didn't like it. "Evelyn," Sophia said the next morning, her perfume strong enough to sting. "We have rules. We don't carry the baby around all night. We let him self-soothe." "He's too little," Evelyn said quietly. "He needs to feel a heartbeat." "A heartbeat?" Sophia laughed. "This isn't some village." Two maids snickered. One whispered, "She probably slept with him." Evelyn swallowed her hurt. She wasn't there to impress them. She was there for Michael. That night, when the storm got worse, the heater in the nursery kept cutting off. Evelyn touched the baby's hands. Cold. His nose. Cold. His breathing. Fast. "No, no, no, little angel," she whispered. "You can't get sick in this house. They'll blame me." So she made a choice. She lifted him from the crib, pulled him against her chest, and, in the dim golden nursery light, She unzipped her own sweater so his cheek could rest on her warm skin. Skin to skin. The oldest, softest trick in the world. The one her mother used when they didn't have blankets. Michael calmed instantly. His breathing slowed. His little fingers clutched her. To comfort him, she started humming a lullaby, the same lullaby she used to sing to a baby she didn't get to keep. Tears burned her lashes. "Shoo! Mommy's here," she whispered without thinking. But she wasn't his mother. And someone was watching. From his office, Robert saw it all. And his world, of rules, of distance, of rich versus poor, cracked. He zoomed in on the screen, shocked. No nanny in his price range had ever done that. They followed manuals. They followed invoices. This girl followed instinct. Upstairs, Sophia saw the hallway camera light blink red and smirked. "Let the billionaire see how the girl from the slums breaks protocol," she said. But the only thing Evelyn was breaking was the silence around a lonely baby. Robert had watched women hold his son before. Always the same way, arms out, distance kept, eyes on the paycheck. But this was different. Evelyn held Michael like the world could fall apart and she would still keep him warm. Robert's first instinct was anger. "This is unprofessional," he muttered, turning the volume higher. "Why is she undressing near my son?" His finger hovered over the call button to security. Then he heard her voice. "Michael, I know you miss your mama," she whispered, lips on the baby's hair. "I miss mine too. But listen to me, okay? You are not too much. You are not a burden. You are not a mistake. You are just lonely." Robert's hand dropped. No nanny had ever said that. None of them had guessed the thing that even Robert didn't want to say out loud, that the baby didn't just cry because of colic, or because of the cold, but because the house was full of people who raised their eyebrows at tears. On the camera, Evelyn rocked him slowly, pressing him to her skin to regulate his breathing. "Breathe with me, 1, 2. Good boy. You're safe," she murmured. "Your daddy's hurting, that's why he doesn't come in. Not because he doesn't love you." Robert's heart slammed. How does she know that?" he whispered. He rewound the clip. At 2:18 a.m., after Michael finally fell asleep on her chest, Evelyn didn't put him straight back in the crib. She sat on the rocking chair, still holding him, and cried. Silent, shoulder-shaking cries. "I'm so sorry, baby," she said. "I couldn't save mine. But I'll save you." Those words hit him like a truck. Security called in. "Sir, you asked us to monitor the nanny." Robert cleared his throat. "Yes. Archive everything. Nobody else sees this footage. Not even Sophia. Especially not Sophia." "Understood." He ended the call and stared at the paused frame. Evelyn in the chair, baby on her chest, tears on her cheeks, a poor girl loving his son deeper than all the rich staff put together. This wasn't theft. This wasn't abuse. This was grief meeting grief. And suddenly, Robert realized the problem in his mansion wasn't the nanny. It was him. But the rest of the staff didn't know what he'd seen. Which meant, by morning, someone was going to try to get rid of Evelyn. Because in houses like his, poor hearts don't stay long. Not when they make the billionaire look cold. Not when Sophia has been waiting for a reason to say, "I told you she was inappropriate." And Robert, for the first time in a long time, didn't know whose side he was on. Morning in the Kingston estate was always polished. Silver trays. Fresh orchids. A line of staff pretending they didn't gossip. But that morning, Evelyn walked into the kitchen with Michael on her hip, laughing, actually laughing, and the room went silent. Sophia's lips tightened. "The baby is not to be carried in common areas," she said. "He has sensitive lungs." "He was crying," Evelyn said softly. "He needed to see faces. He needed to follow rules," Sophia snapped. "Also, Mr. Kingston has seen the footage." Evelyn's heart stopped. Footage. The cameras. Had she broken some rich people line again? Sophia folded her arms. Undressing in the nursery? Sleeping with the child on your chest? Whispering like you're his mother. That is wildly inappropriate. I recommended you, and now I look foolish. Evelyn's cheeks burned. I didn't do anything wrong. The heater failed. His hands were blue. Excuses, Sophia said. Poor girls always have stories. That one stung. Before Evelyn could answer, a deeper voice filled the kitchen. Enough. Robert stood in the doorway, suit on, tie loose, eyes softer than usual. Sophia straightened. Sir, I was just informing her of protocol. We can call the agency and... No, Robert said. You won't be calling anyone. Sophia blinked. Sir. Robert looked at Evelyn, then at the baby's happy face. Last night, when the system alerted me, I watched her take care of my son. She didn't harm him. She didn't neglect him. She saved him from catching a chill because the heater you're in charge of didn't work. The chef coughed to hide a smile. John, the driver, raised his eyebrows. Sophia flushed. But sir, the way she held him is the way a mother holds a child, Robert said quietly. A way I can't. Not yet. The room fell silent. Evelyn looked down. I'm sorry if I crossed a line, Mr. Kingston. I lost a baby 2 years ago. His name was Michael too. I know what a cold night can do. I couldn't watch it happen again. There it was. The ghost behind her lullaby. The reason for the tears. Robert swallowed hard. Hospital bills? She nodded. I couldn't pay. He didn't make it. Sophia rolled her eyes. We cannot run this house on sob stories. Robert turned. We cannot run this house on cruelty either. The staff stared. Rich versus poor, flipped. But the tension wasn't over. Because Robert still hadn't told Evelyn that he had cameras in her room too. Evelyn, he said, voice lower, can you come to my office after breakfast? Alone. Her stomach knotted. Had he changed his mind? Was he about to fire her anyway? She kissed Michael's head and handed him to John for a minute. As she walked away, the staff's eyes burned holes in her back. Sophia whispered, just loud enough, let's see how far love gets you with a billionaire. The real conversation was about to start. Robert's office was all glass and power, but that morning it felt like a confession booth. Evelyn stood in front of his desk, fingers twisting, eyes brave but tired. He didn't make her wait. I owe you an apology, he said. For the cameras. For doubting you. For letting them treat you like you don't belong. Her eyes widened. You had cameras in my room too? He nodded, shame on his face. Only for the first nights. I told myself it was to protect Michael. Truth is, I didn't trust anyone. Losing Emma broke something in me. Evelyn blinked fast. I understand, sir. No, he said. You don't. You shouldn't have to understand. I watched you pray beside my son. I watched you give him warmth from your own body when this house couldn't. I watched you grieve a child you lost while you loved mine. That is not something I should have spied on. That is something I should have thanked you for. He picked up a small hard drive, the one with the saved footage, and dropped it into a drawer. This stays with me. No one will use it against you. She swallowed. So, are you letting me go? Robert actually smiled, a tired, human smile, not the billionaire one he wore for magazines. Letting you go. Evelyn, I want you to stay. Not as the poor girl they can mock. As Michael's full-time caregiver. With a raise. With your own proper room. And, if you still want to study nursing like you told the agency, I'll pay for it. Her hand flew to her mouth. You heard that. He gestured to the ceiling. Cameras, remember? They both laughed, awkward, relieved. Then he stood, went to the nursery with her, and for the first time since his wife died, Robert didn't watch his son through a screen. He picked Michael up with his own arms. The baby fussed, unused to his father's scent. "Hold him closer," Evelyn whispered. "He's scared." Robert did. Michael calmed. Sophia passed by the door, saw the scene, and understood. The power in the house had shifted. Cruelty would no longer run the nursery. Robert looked at Evelyn. "You were right. He didn't need another rich rule. He needed a heartbeat." She smiled, tears bright. "Every child does, sir." And as the camera in the corner blinked its little red light, now only for safety, not suspicion, the mansion finally felt warm. "Now tell me, if you were in Robert's place, would you have trusted a poor nanny that fast, or would you have installed cameras too? What would you have done?"